What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a very exciting Liverpool transfer news video because Liverpool are preparing a huge £150 million bid to sign Alexander Isak, and we will get all the latest reports for you guys, and I will show you all the latest financial analysts saying that Liverpool can more than afford to spend another £200 million without even the player sales money coming in. And Isak has always been and will continue to be Liverpool's top target. And the fact that the Liverpool-based journalists and the journalists with close ties within Liverpool, with sources within Liverpool, haven't dismissed this story means that Liverpool are genuinely trying to sign Alexander Isak, and I absolutely love the ambition of Liverpool in this summer transfer window. Honestly, it has been a long time coming, what Liverpool fans have been waiting for many years. Let me know, how do you feel about Liverpool's transfer window so far, and also if we sign Alexander Isak, how would you feel? Leave your thoughts down below. Liverpool have been linked with Viktor Gyökeres, but some journalists poured cold water on those rumors, and Hugo Ekitike continues to be linked with Liverpool as well, but Liverpool want Alexander Isak as a number one target, and we will only move on to other players if Alexander Isak is not gettable, but at the moment it looks like he is gettable. And we will look at the reports that Newcastle are bidding for a striker at the moment to potentially replace Alexander Isak. So David Ornstein said Liverpool are in a strong position, Newcastle are in a strong position with Isak having 3 years left on his contract, as part of which he's already paid well. They will have no problem offering a bigger salary, but Newcastle can't afford to pay Isak the salary that Liverpool are offering him, so that's a big difference. And from Alexander Isak's point of view, David Ornstein said he has top level football secured with Newcastle playing in the Champions League. He won Newcastle's first trophy in a long time. He looks to be happy, always with a smile on his face. Alexander Isak surely will take notice of Liverpool's interest, and he actually welcomes Liverpool's interest. We will reveal that a little bit later. So David Ornstein said it could take around £150 million to just start the conversation with Newcastle. There is no suggestion of any developments despite recent rumors and reports. Liverpool may try, but that doesn't mean they will succeed. And yes, of course, we know that Liverpool might not get Alexander Isak, but we will definitely try. We will definitely try our best. We are in the process of finalizing a deal to sell Darwin Núñez to Napoli, and hopefully 50 or 60 million pounds can be negotiated with Napoli, and then Liverpool can use that money as well to put towards the Alexander Isak fund. And Richard Hughes is also looking for a new centre-back because there are fears over the future of Konate, who recently said, don't believe everything you read in the media. So hopefully it's just a matter of time before Konate signs a new contract. And Crystal Palace's Mark Guéhi is at the top of Liverpool's transfer shortlist when it comes to centre-backs. And Keith Wynas, former Premier League CEO, has said that Liverpool are expected to complete a deal for Guéhi, who has been deemed as a frightening prospect. It would be a no-brainer for Liverpool if they can get hold of him. And all the noises coming out of Mark Guéhi camp are that he is keen to go. And Football Insider exclusive is that Liverpool can afford the mega transfer for Alexander Isak. That's what a financial expert said. And Núñez is expected to leave for Saudi Arabia. And this might be the last season for Diogo Jota as well. If we get a suitable offer for him, Liverpool might even offer Jota in the Isak deal to Newcastle. And finance expert Plumlee explained that Liverpool can afford to sign Alexander Isak. I think in terms of affordability, yes, there is the context of what Liverpool is prepared to spend, and £300 million is a huge figure, isn't it? Which you have to be mindful of, because we are not in the realm anymore of unlimited pots of money to spend on transfer fees. There are regulations you have got to work within, But if you look at Liverpool, and again we are looking at numbers here on PSR calculations that are already season out, and Liverpool have just won the Premier League, which generated a huge amount of money. They will bank the Champions League money from this year, and they will bank the Champions League money again next year as well. And by the way, Alexander Isak, 27 goals and 6 assists in 42 games. What a season he has had. So can Liverpool afford Alexander Isak? Yes, the financial expert revealed. I know they have done a deal for Wirtz and Frimpong, and if Kwanzaa goes the other way, you've got Trent Alexander-Arnold off the books. They have managed to get an unbelievable fee to let him go early, and getting 10 million euros for Alexander-Arnold going to Real Madrid like 30 days early was a brilliant deal. And also Liverpool just signed Milos Kerkez, which I'm still absolutely buzzing about. So all those little things then kind of come into the mix. And Liverpool didn't spend anything last summer at all. They had a net spend figure of something like 0.1 million. So Isak is affordable for Liverpool ultimately. The question mark is, are Newcastle likely to sell? Probably not. But Liverpool, just my opinion, if Liverpool make a high enough offer, then Newcastle will sell, especially if Alexander Isak says to them that I want to go to Liverpool. And why wouldn't he want to come to Liverpool, who are building an absolute super team ready to dominate the Premier League, hopefully win the Champions League as well in the next 2 or 3 years. That's what Liverpool are building towards, and Alexander Isak doesn't want to just play in the Champions League or play in the Premier League. He would want to win it. And the financial expert continued, that's going to be a hard bargaining conversation with Newcastle, and attached to that, that means the transfer fee is going to go up, and it will be more of a case of what is Liverpool's ceiling on what they are prepared to pay for Alexander Isak. Because Newcastle will stretch it out, for sure, as much as possible. I think affordability, yes, Liverpool can afford Isak. The question mark for me would be, what's the transfer fee? And the negotiation, and how much does Liverpool want the player? I think Liverpool and Richard Hughes will have a clear idea of how much they are willing to willing to pay, or be prepared to pay for Alexander Isak. And I don't think we will go higher than 150 million. And even that is a huge figure. If Florian Wirtz is worth 116 million, then I would say Isak is worth about the same. Because of his little injury issues, he is not quite an injury-prone player, you wouldn't say that. But he misses 10-15 games a season on average. So you have to factor that in. Isak and his agent has a huge part. They have a huge part to play in this. Because if the agent and Isak goes to Newcastle and say, please listen to Liverpool's offer, then Newcastle will be sitting down to the negotiation table, and then hopefully Liverpool can make the transfer work. Also, it looks like Newcastle need to sell a big player to fund their summer transfers, because they haven't spent in the previous 3 transfer windows, they haven't spent much because of the PSR restrictions. And Isak is the complete package with the ability to be a poacher in the box, but he can score from long range, he can be scoring headers, he is threatening in the air, and he can cause problems running in behind. Isak's record at Newcastle is stellar. 86 games, 54 goals and 9 assists, which is pretty remarkable. And there is potentially more to come. If Arne Slot could pull off such a signing, then Liverpool would have one of Europe's strongest attacks. Can you imagine? Isak up front, Wirtz behind him, Salah on the right, and Diaz or Gakpo on the left. That's one of the, if not the best attack in Europe. And Alexander Isak actually welcomes Liverpool's approach. According to the journalist Ben Jacobs, Isak is open to Liverpool's approach, and he could use the situation to his advantage, even in the contract talks with Newcastle. Is Isak welcoming of the links to Liverpool? Of course, because it gives him maximum leverage to go back to Newcastle and to ask for more money, to give him a new deal. There is a lot of noise because the interest is genuine. And the Liverpool Echo's Paul Gorst is reporting, and he is a very reliable journalist with close ties to Liverpool, inside sources. Outgoings will need to be factored in before Liverpool can plot an audacious, ambitious move for Alexander Isak, but it will certainly be a storyline worth keeping tabs on in the coming weeks, with still so much of the transfer window left to run. And that's why I think it's absolutely brilliant that we haven't even entered the July and Liverpool already signed Mamadashvili, Frimpong, Wirtz and Kerkez. 4 brilliant players, 4 young players with a lot of future potential as well. And this next move for Alexander Isak could actually redefine Liverpool's transfer window. I wanted to share this brilliant write-up by Eddie Gibbs. He is like an author who turned a journalist. He's brilliant with his words. And the players that I mentioned, it's not just quality that Liverpool signed, but cohesion. It's a clear transfer strategy. This is a club that once stood accused of resting after glory. Now they are rebuilding from glory. Yes, because after winning the Champions League, after winning the Premier League in 2019 and 2020, in those summer transfer windows, Liverpool did very little in the transfer window. Now it's a different strategy. If you speak to the right people, and one thing becomes abundantly clear, Liverpool's window is not even close to being finished, to being closed. Newcastle fans are openly in denial as Alexander Isak's name, of course, dances on the edge of reality and dream. Liverpool's hierarchy admire Isak deeply, and he fits Arne Slot's tactical playbook, and he fits into the transfer strategy designed by Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes. Newcastle are not inviting bids, but the admiration alone speaks volumes. Liverpool only admire players they have studied, prepared for, and placed on the board as transfer targets. And when Nunez departs, the domino falls, and Isak is an ideal forward of rare balance, technical elegance, movement, sharp as a blade, and a calm that unsettles defenders more than chaos ever could. He's referencing, of course, Darwin Nunez. If there is one player who turns a very good window into one that history remembers as one of the best transfer windows of all time, it is Alexander Isak. Liverpool will not be held hostage. Liverpool will not pay £200 million. They will not pay fantasy transfer fees, nor shatter their wage balance to win headlines. If they move for Isak, it will be on their terms and not Newcastle's terms. Liverpool's model is clear. Sustainability with teeth. And be under no illusions, Liverpool are the bigger fish in this pond. And this isn't just a show of strength, it's a quiet warning. Liverpool that used to whisper of transition now moves with a stride of one aiming to reign again. Not for one season, but for many. Liverpool are trying to build a dynasty, a club, a team, a squad capable of winning multiple Premier League titles and hopefully winning the Champions League during this process as well. And even though some media reports say that Newcastle are not in talks with Liverpool, the Anfield Index sources say that Liverpool and Newcastle are at the table negotiating. It's not yet known whether the photos will show maybe Isak in red in this summer, but the real picture is larger. Liverpool are dangerous again, and they have eyes wide open and weapons are drawn, and we are targeting absolutely brilliant players. And if you are Alexander Isak, you are turning 26 years old in September. Surely you have the ambition to go to Liverpool and to win things instead of just competing at Newcastle. But do Newcastle really have a realistic chance of winning the Champions League or winning the Premier League? Let's be honest, not really. It would be an absolute miracle season, not as miraculous as Leicester winning the Premier League. It would be up there as one of the greatest upsets in Premier League history. Whether they like it or not, Isak has a wage ceiling at Newcastle. He could get maybe 150, 160, 170,000 pounds per week. At Liverpool, he could easily get 250, 300,000 pounds per week. Even with Champions League football, Newcastle have massive restrictions with PSR because their revenues are nowhere near what Liverpool's revenues are. And that is the opportunity that Liverpool are hoping to seize. Newcastle can say that Isak is a 150 million or 200 million pound player, but Isak's agent knows that Newcastle can't pay Isak wages of a 150 million pound player, because that is what Mo Salah earns, 300, 350, maybe even 400,000 pounds per week. Newcastle can nowhere near afford that. And Eddie Gibbs says, personally, I don't think the Isak transfer would happen, but I didn't think the reverse transfer would happen either. Many people said Liverpool don't spend more than 100 million pounds on a player. There is no chance. And then Wirtz walked through the door. And Liverpool have the money to spend big again on Isak. As I said, the financial expert also told us Liverpool have a lot of buffer, a lot of room in this PSR, restrictions. And if Newcastle ask for such a ridiculous money, or if Isak doesn't want to go to Liverpool, which I would be surprised if that's the case, then Liverpool just move on to target B or target C. And also Asim said that you get the feeling that the narrative is very, very slowly changing around Alexander Isak from a Newcastle perspective. Because Eddie Howe might need a Coutinho type of sale in order to sign 3 or 4 established players who actually improve Newcastle's starting 11. And Liverpool refused to rule out anything, and that is very intriguing. The Newcastle mistake that they are making is that they started talking about silly numbers like 200 million pounds. Well, if you are going to keep Isak, then you will have to get his wages to reflect that he's a 200 million pound player, and they can't do that. Absolutely not. And Newcastle are frustrated because they went and bid 75 million combined for João Pedro and Trafford, the Burnley goalkeeper, and both bids were rejected. They also had a 45 million pound bid for Anthony Elanga, rejected. And that's what you get when you go after Premier League players, because Premier League clubs are filthy rich. Even the clubs like Burnley, who are back in the Premier League, even the clubs like Brighton, they are not under no pressure to sell for a cheap price. They can ask for more money. And yes, João Pedro is probably worth more than 50 million, even though I wouldn't pay that amount for him. He's not a Liverpool level player. And James Trafford is a very young 22-year-old goalkeeper, so he has another 15 years probably, or 13 or 12 years left at the top of professional football. So yeah, he would cost more than 25 million. And also Elanga was one of the most important players of Nottingham Forest, and Nottingham Forest are in the Europa League, so they wouldn't want to sell Anthony Elanga, especially not for 45 million. They will ask for more. But the fact that Newcastle are going after a striker signals to me that they are preparing for all eventuality, that Alexander Isak might leave. And this is the problem, Newcastle need a lot of money to sign these players that improve their starting 11 and improve their squad. And without selling Alexander Isak, where will they get the money together to do this? So yeah, they will be very, very careful in the transfer market, and this is Liverpool's opportunity. So I'm really excited that Liverpool are pushing hard to sign Alexander Isak. Leave your thoughts down below. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. See you later, guys. See you later.